Welcome to the Bromley Adult Education College Digital Drop-In Podcast, getting you back to work with confidence.
Hello, I'm Jill Collier and welcome to episode 19 of the Digital Drop-In Podcast. Today I'm joined by Rick Stupple, who after a very successful career for 26 years got the opportunity of voluntary redundancy, and it was a good time in his life to be able to make a change in his career and do something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. And so Rick decided to be an actor. Hello, Rick.
Hello, Jill.
So tell me, how did you get into, I'm assuming if you took your voluntary redundancy, that probably gave you a bit of financial security?
That's right, yes.
And so did you fall into acting? Was it something you'd been hankering after for many years? What happened? You're kind of or unemployed now. You've got your redundancy. So what happened next?
Yeah, well, basically, as you say, I had the redundancy did give me a lot of financial grounding, so to speak. Money wasn't a problem, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it was only the fact of a friend of mine who I used to train with in the gym. He was doing extra work at the time, and he just said to me, well, if you're not doing anything, why don't you come along and give it a try?
And what's extra work? For those
extra work basically is when you see, say, for argument's sake, a film, you see people in the background walking across. And basically that is but they're all directed. Out of camera range, there'd be someone saying, you go next. So, but they just take it to and from to make the place look filled with people. And also if they're sitting in, say, a restaurant or something, they will have extras all around. The other diners will be extras. So that is basically
and I think I'm right in saying that there's two levels of extras. There's the non-speaking extras and the speaking. Would that be right?
That's right, yes. It's something that we used to try to inspire to because, to put it bluntly, it was more money.
Do you know what I didn't like? Yes, you get more money when you're speaking, don't you?
And basically, you get noticed. That is, I'm not saying that you're suddenly cast into stardom or fame, but people can see that you can do the job.
Yes.
So when it comes up again, someone always say, oh, we used him for whatever, and he was okay. Yeah. But it's like the old adage in life that people won't always remember you for doing something good, but they certainly remember you if you do something bad. So that is usually, and that is basically and then sometimes the nice thing for an extra, I did it one thing, is to be a stand-in. So when these films are made, you're roughly the same height and colouring as the main actor. So the lighting, so you stand there with all the lighting and everything else, right, which of course is a bit more money, but you're guaranteed the length of the film that you're getting work.
Right, so you're almost standing there while all the technical stuff is being kind of perfected. So
That's
then
correct.
the real actor just walks in two-step.
Just walks in, yes,
Perfect.
two-step. And
So
that is,
did you ever do a standby for anyone or stand in?
yes, I actually worked on something called Sleepy Hollow,
Right.
which the main character was Johnny Depp.
Oh, right.
And I stood in for, in the film, there's a clergyman who roughly, because he's roughly one of the main actors. He was an Hollywood actor.
Right.
And, he come over to do it because, and also sometimes I had to wear the costume because this was all set out in
Yes.
the 18th century. It's based on the book, the Headless or Sleepy Hollow, I think that was the name of the film, and it was absolutely great to actually be there and see because I still love watching, even a film on television comes on about the making of.
Yes.
I love watching it,
You find it
even though
enjoyable.
I do
Yes,
and I think,
yes.
and you see the tricks that they use, which is fascinating.
So to become an extra, we'll move on to your actual acting, but to become an extra, do you just sign up to an agency or something like you would any sort of temporary work?
That's right.
And
Yeah,
it's
you.
feast or famine, probably you get too much.
Yeah,
and
you sign up for an agency, but basically you have to send off photographs,
Right.
and then obviously depending on whether or not they're actually employing, because
Yes,
some
if
of
their
them
books
got.
are full.
That's right. Yes, if their books are full, but sometimes if you do it towards the end of the year, that's usually when they open up their books again.
Oh.
So you may be lucky
Right.
and there's no such thing as guaranteed work
No.
with it. So
It is temporary work.
it is temporary work. Yeah, you may be lucky and always be employed,
Yes.
but unfortunately, because of my size, I think because I was too recognisable,
Yes.
which obviously they can't use you all the time.
No.
But there was some. I mean, even before I became an actor, I had a couple of jobs where I went to the south of France for overnight. Been to most of the continent,
Really?
even as an extra work because
Yes.
because it fitted their
Yes, that profile. For that.
profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were doing the extra work for a period of time. Is this weeks, months, years? I don't know. And
This was roughly, I suppose, about five or 6 years.
and this then gave you the bug for it, and you thought, I'll go and do
That's right,
kind of
yeah.
intensive training course
Yeah.
or something to be an
Well,
actor.
basically, what I did, because in the meantime, I just sort of stepped back there. In the meantime, while I was doing the extra work, because I'm particularly tall and big, and being a lot younger then, a lot fitter, more fitter, should I say, I got asked by someone who does security on the film sets and personal minding. And the culmination of that was minding Hugh Grant on Notting Hill, and from my point of view, having a kiss with Julia Roberts. So, and
That must be the pinnacle of your career.
that's right, yeah. And again, it was an Hollywood movie, and it's entirely the money's there. But then I, as you say, I started to get this little bug. I thought myself, I hadn't really considered it before, but it was sort of growing, and I thought, I don't know. I was sort of in life was sort of saying, well, try it.
Try it, absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't like it, then you don't do it anymore.
I think so much in life we are held back by stability and needing
Yes.
to earn a regular salary.
That's right,
that
yeah.
We don't have the guts to try anything else, but the fact that you did at least know that you were kind of okay. I think to go off and try something like this, it was a win-win, wasn't it? Really?
Oh,
I
it
mean,
was, yes. It was as I say, it was the fact of not having to worry about finances
Yes.
at the time. And also, I had recently divorced, And that was also another way of that I suppose it sounds selfish, but I could suit myself then what I did. So that was another restraint that was
like
lifted.
going off and kissing Julia Roberts.
That's right, yes.
So is acting, did you just feel it from the gut, or did you go on a training course? What happened to escalate you from being an
what
extra?
happened there, I'd helped somebody out on a small part of the film, and then I tried a couple of places like the Actors Centre, which is over the West End, but unfortunately they said that I didn't have enough experience, but then they wanted more trained actors. And then they suggested that I try somewhere which was called the Actors Temple. And basically, there was a lot of younger actors. Was nobody well known there, but we used to go there and sometimes act out scenes, and this was all on the training of you step up.
Yes.
And then you sometimes work with a partner. It may be either another man or it might be another woman, and then you can get. And then sometimes the instructor would give you a project to do, and basically in that way, it'd be between the two of you working out on a scene. Right. So to get it word perfect to begin with, and then start acting the emotions.
Yes.
And between the man and woman, there are so many emotions. It's life, isn't it? As we know it, it's ups, downs, good, bad, anything you like, and all
getting
of that.
the timing right and the emphasis
That's
on
right.
different words
Yes,
and things like
that's
that.
it. Yeah, and then as we go through each stage, then we'd have to perform it in front of him,
Right.
and then he would give us pointers about what not to do, what I should, or what we should do, and it sort of evolved like that. And then,
So does that give you a qualification in acting, or just it gives you an experience?
no, because it didn't give any qualification because of it was not the recognised, not one of the recognised schools.
Just giving you experience.
And it is a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of snobbery involved, and they do reckon now that it is going back to what it was years ago. I mean, in the 60s, you had a group of actors that came through, they was real working class people.
Right.
But then all of a
Are you
sudden,
thinking of anyone in specific when you say
I
that?
suppose there's one I can think of, was Albert Finney.
Right.
He did Saturday Night and Sunday Morning, I think, the film was, which was all about working class. Right. And also Michael Caine. He was an East. Well, he was we don't like saying East End. We say South East End.
Right.
But he was like that, and he came through. So there's a couple of them in that. Tom Courtenay was another one, and it's
I think it was at a point where suddenly you didn't just have to have the Queen's English and have a very specific dialect. I know much later in time they said it's the same with kind of newsreaders and presenters.
That's
they went
correct,
from not having to, they could be from Manchester or Scotland or
That's
something,
it, yes.
and not have to change their dialect to be, the sort of Queen's English type dialect. So you were lucky in a way that wave had already come
yes,
for you.
It does. In actual fact, I mean, one of the jobs I did get through this acting school was playing Hamlet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what he wanted me for was the guy at the end, the gravedigger.
Oh, right.
Who actually is the one who actually tells it. Yes. He actually tells the real story of what happened, because basically it was all about, because Shakespeare could never mention about what went on in England.
Oh, really?
Most of his plays were set abroad.
Verona and things like
That's
that. You're
right,
absolutely right.
Because it was his way of having a go at the government at the time, an establishment.
Oh, okay.
And of course, in his time, if you had a go at them, you lost your head.
Right.
And and with Hamlet, I mean, the princess commits suicide, and she's given a Christian burial. Where in this time, it's only if you had money you could circumstance the religion.
Okay.
But getting back to writer, because the other actors, they want their own county's accent, and I said, he said no. He said, I want your accent there because I want you to be as far away from them as possible.
Right.
So it came in handy, and whatever you got, if you can use in acting, that's good. Like that.
So, once you felt you had a bit more experience under your belt, that you could maybe go for slightly different roles. Did you say you did some adverts and things like that?
Yes.
Or was that just as a side? It was the more serious stuff you enjoyed doing.
Again, adverts are work.
Yes.
You know, as an actor, because going back a few years, well-known actors would never ever do adverts. It was considered below them. But if you look at them now, there's loads. And yes, it was work, and then it was luck. I did one advert for Tesco's for their petrol, and the way I got that I was working on another play. It was performed over a pub in Clerkenwell, and one of the people who come to see it was actually a casting director. Perfect. And she came up to me and said, I'm looking for someone like you. Would you come in and oh yeah, of course, and that led to getting that part. So it's
sometimes right place, right time, isn't
exactly.
it? You can't always.
Yes, that's right.
It's always a bit of a juggling act, isn't it? I mean, obviously, you've probably got an agent who will put your name forward for specific work, but I've heard it so many times. You're in something, someone sees you, then they just ask for you that way. So,
I mean, I actually think about it now. I had a casting agent rung me up because I used to work in an actors cooperative for a while, which basically means you have to do 2 days a week or 2 days a month in the office.
Right.
And somebody rung me up and asked me to, and I'd met her she was another extra at the time on a gangster, and this film would have been acting with Tom
Hardy?
Of Hollywood. I tell you what, the mind is going completely so it was, that's to say, Tom, everybody, he's top of his.
I'll check
it. Check it. Yeah, you can put it in. Yeah, and so it was sort of, again, pure luck.
Pure luck.
Right
much.
time,
right place. And
if you've got anybody who's in the acting profession, they'll probably say exactly the same thing.
Absolutely, yes. So money-wise, it pays reasonably well because it's so intermittent, but you don't kind of debt collect yourself. Is it done through your agent? Is it your agent that invoices and then takes their percentage? Or that is
it. Yes. You as the actor, you don't get involved in matters like that.
Finances, no.
Finances. No, your agent will put the stuff into them, anything there, and they will pay the agent, and then it's the agent's way of making sure that they get their bit first.
I think, again, you can't be desperate for that money because sometimes it can take months to come through, can't it? I mean, it literally, you can almost sometimes think, where's that come from? I've forgotten I've even done that job because it was so long ago.
Yes,
so it's not like working in Tesco's and getting paid at the end of the month.
No,
some pay quickly, but I believe some can.
That's right. Yeah, it's
take a while.
When you're at a certain level, I would say you can't live on the money that you get for acting.
No.
Only when you reach a certain height, you know, that they're scrambling after you to get you there.
Yes.
So you do hear of a lot of them having to do they're always menial work because, and no disrespect to anybody does it, but because you have to have flexibility,
Yes.
You have to have a job that you know, a lot of them work in call centres.
Yes.
So they can get time off to
Yes.
do
And a lot of these jobs are very amenable to that because they know they're getting a decent quality person that is an actor that is looking for part-time work. So they know they're getting a good member of staff, so they can often be very amenable, but they know you're going to take time off at short notice to go for auditions. So it kind of works both ways.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. So, as you rightly say, unless you're top of your game, which is skill but also luck, it's almost like a sideline, isn't it? It makes you a little bit of money, and it's a fun day out or a few days out.
It's a great time, you know. There's some lovely people you do. Well, you know, like any aspect of life, you're going to get good at. But I used to find, because I think the way I spoke, that most of them used to think I was crew. And I used to, well, occasionally, I know what one time with just going back, I was doing an extra work, and they suddenly run out of breakfast, you know. So the rest of the who had to get, and because I was strolling around, and the caterer, I said, "Oh, hello, mate. How you going? All right?" Like, yeah. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm a spare on. I'm a spare spark, you know, which is an electrician." And he said, "Oh, you had them, Brett?" I said, "No." So I was able to get. So my voice works in another way, but I enjoy it because I believe that if you treat people a certain way, you're always going to get it returned, and I'm always one for a bit of banter and
treat people how you would like to be treated.
Of course,
really,
that's
it?
right.
So no, well, that's really, really interesting, Rick. So it's just nice to see, like a little gaze into all these different types of lives that are out there.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's told me what I need to know, in that it's not going to pay my mortgage, but it's just, if you're at that time of life where you can, and it could be the other end when you're still living at home you don't have outgoings that you have to meet. Either end of the spectrum, it gives you that flexibility of doing something a little bit different, a little bit exciting, and actually, who knows? You could actually.
There's always. I mean, the way we always looked at it, if you didn't have that thing in your own head that yes, perhaps the next job may be the big one. Yeah. Otherwise, you give it up.
Yes.
You know, and you've got no. And we always used to say it beats working for a living.
Yes. Absolutely. No, well, that's really lovely. I've really enjoyed that, Rick, and thank you very much for sharing life as an actor with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. For help with all your job searching needs, do visit one of our digital drop-in venues. On a Monday, we are open 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. at our Poveris Centre, and on a Tuesday, we are open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Kentwood Centre. In our sessions, we offer free use of computers for job searching, advice on creating a winning CV, plus lots of short training courses to gain skills in the digital world.
This podcast has been produced by Bromley Adult Education College. For full details of how we can support your return to work, visit our website www.baec.ac.uk and search for Digital Drop-In. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast to receive notifications of new episodes.